Hey everybody, and welcome to ARCANIUM. ARCANIUM is a first ever real-time strategy card game that also combines elements of roguelike and deck building. So inside, you can click on any hero and see what their kit is. So each hero comes with 3 cards that go on normal rotation, and 1 card that is the ultimate card that's drawn after they fill up their ult bar. And you can click on any card and read more about them. Just a quick overview here is the big fat number up here is the AP cost, so the action point cost. The lines around tells you how long it takes to cast. So this takes 5 seconds. This one actually casts instantly. And another 5-second cast. And then the icons over here tell you about what the card does. So the red icons are damage. The hex icon here means that this is a weakening effect. So you can click on that and find out more about it. Hex is damages the output damage is reduced by 50%. Whenever you have this secondary icon below the first icon or the bottom icon, that means that it's a requirement. So you have to have Hex applied on the enemy, and then you'll get the secondary component unlocked. So this actually, if the enemy's already hexed, they'll take an extra 6 splash hex damage. Alright, so I'm going to construct a quick team here. I'm going to use something very damagey, so maybe Aurora. Seems like a good choice. Something kind of tanky. You can see in the top right here they have their icons that kind of describes what the hero is, or what they do. And then maybe another fighter. So Milady is heavy damage dealer and she's very quick. Alright, so let's start the game. So when you first start the game, you're going to be presented with the world map. Here we have the 3 provinces that you'll be able to play during early access, as well as the boss island. So you'll always go through these 3 provinces in whatever order you choose, and then you'll be able to unlock the boss and fight him. So we'll choose Anador right now, it's the only one we have available. And here's a quick overview of kind of how the map is laid out. So you start here, the orange is you, and you're going to be able to preview what the next nodes that you can go to are, because it's the daytime. When it switches to nighttime, you won't be able to see those anymore, but you will get a potential chance to ambush your enemies. So right here we've got a bunch of battles that are nearby, and then we have one event. Events are stories, missions, quests, all sorts of different things that give you unique rewards and sometimes lead to battles as well. We also have these high tier loot zones, which are the bigger nodes, so you're definitely going to want to try to pick up as many of those as possible. So as I roam around the map, I can kind of get a preview of where I want to go. So if I want to hit as many of those as I can kind of plan out my progress. There's also a city capital in the center of each map. And here's going to be a merchant and a forge and an inn and all sorts of good stuff that you can do to your cards. And also clear off your heroes' handicaps and stuff like that. So a quick overview on the UI. Here we have the threat level. This increases each time you complete a battle. Once the threat is at 5, so 5 ticks up after you've completed 5 battles, the boss will appear on the map, and a ring will appear. And that ring is going to close in on that boss over the next 15 turns. And if you are outside that ring, you're going to have to fight some very difficult battles with very low rewards. So you're going to want to try to make your way to the boss as quickly as possible. We already talked about the day-night cycle. Every 3 turns it shifts back and forth. Turns is just sort of keeping track of how many moves you've made. Your rations are a resource that you're definitely going to want to keep healthy, because when you're out of rations, every turn you're going to take 5% handicap on all of your heroes, which is going to reduce their maximum health. If their maximum health is all the way reduced to 0, they will die and you will be game overed. And last but not least, here is the backpack. And the backpack is where you're going to collect your artifacts and be able to assign them to your heroes. You can just toggle through your 3 heroes right here and assign things to your backpack, or from your backpack to your guys. Alright, so let's start with an actual battle. So we'll just click over here maybe so we can move on to this high tier loot zone after. So as soon as I click, it's going to take away 1 ration, it's going to add a turn, it's going to move the daytime forward, and now I'm faced with a battle. So let's fight. Alright, now that we're in a battle here, I just paused the game real fast. You can always pause and unpause at any time with the spacebar or the pause button down here. So, to give you a quick overview of what you can do in a battle, you can swap your heroes' positions. So if I drag them over left or right, I'll be able to, as soon as I hit unpause, I'll just spacebar. Those guys will swap positions. Now the person I choose to do the swapping will pay for that swap. Swapping always costs 1 AP. So you'll see here, if I swap while I'm paused, it'll preview that cost. You can also cancel anytime, and that's a very useful feature for repositioning your guys. The enemies attack a lane and not a target. So if they attack Aurora, for example, I can swap Ogar in, and Ogar can take that damage because he's got more HP. If I click on him, you can see how much HP everybody has. The enemies as well, so only 20 HP. So I should be able to take these guys out pretty easily. Now, my cards all cost a certain amount of AP. So I have 2 here. So I can cast these things. This is a green card again, so it's going to be an ally-based card. The red cards are enemy cards. So I'm actually going to swing right up here and attack this this howling wolf over here. I'm also going to take this riposte and drag that up to attack both those guys. Now, as soon as I unpause, these actions are going to start. So this takes 1 second to cast. This little white dot here means 1 second. This one takes 2 seconds to cast. So you'll see as soon as I hit unpause, that one swings, and then that one swings right afterwards. And what I've done is actually applied status effects onto the enemies. So negative status effects are always going to appear on the right. Positive effects are going to appear on the left. So this guy's silenced, which means he can't cast anything. And this guy's burning, which means that he's going to take damage over time, which is why his HP bar went purple. That's the full amount of damage that will be delivered during the course of this status effect on the enemy. And I'm also going to be able to deal extra damage onto him while he's statused, like that. You'll notice also that my 2 cards down here, they are highlighted yellow now with a border. It's because both of them have a secondary effect that requires that a condition is met. So in the left there you can see that there is a damage and another damage, and the damage is hidden behind a burn icon. So that means if I attack the guy who is burned, he's going to get an extra 12 splash damage. And same here, this target is silenced, so if I attack that silenced target, I'm going to deal an extra 28 damage, which is quite a lot. But I'm going to have to wait for his AP to fill up, and I don't think that silence is going to last long enough. So again, it's always a good strategy to kind of fill your AP bar up, and then you can dish out a ton more damage that way. You'll also notice that there is a little pink bar on the 2 guys that I just attacked. That's their combo bar. So they're at a 1x combo. Every combo that you hit them with while this bar is full or filling down will actually increase the damage output by your cards quite a bit, by 25% actually per combo point. So I'm actually going to attack this Feral Razorfang over here with this axe. So you'll notice that this axe has a targeting variety. So this one doesn't. This just attacks a single target, and that's the target that gets hit. Same with this guy over here. This one, however, will attack both the target and any minion that might happen to be in that lane as well. This one is similar, but it also attacks the adjacent targets as well. So this is a kind of the bigger one. And I'm just going to let that go. So the game is 100% in real time. You can play this game without ever pausing. I'm only pausing to explain things. The game does get a little crazy, fast-paced, so to pause and be able to re-strategize is going to be very helpful. So he's burning. I'm going to actually use this cleave here. So this is going to hit the main target and the 2 adjacent ones. And I think that actually will finish these guys off. Now you'll see right here, that target did die. When an enemy dies, they stay dead. When a hero dies, they're going to come back to life after about 30 seconds or so. So I managed to deliver fatal blows on everybody. And at the end of a battle, you're presented with one of 3 artifacts you can choose. So this is a minion here. Really useful. I'm actually going to throw that in my deck. These are extra cards you can use on rotation, so extra attacks. And these, because it doesn't have an AP bar up here, an AP cost, this is a passive artifact. That's just going to give you a passive boost to your power and your HP to one of your heroes. Always useful, but for the sake of this example, I'm going to take this minion here. And what's going to happen is it's automatically going to open up my backpack for me, and you can see the 1 over here. So now I get to choose which one of my heroes is going to get this extra card. I'm just going to drag it right down onto Milady. Now when you assign a card, you're never locked on that card. You can always reassign it to someone else later. So you have a lot of flexibility in how you want to proceed throughout the round and constantly be changing and evolving your team as you go. And here I'll be able to access the merchant, and I can buy additional cards. So I can just drag them into my cart over here. I can also sell cards, which is anything that I have in my backpack. Definitely want to buy some rations because all I got is 2 here, but I'm out of rations right now. So my team is taking handicap damage on each move. So that's going to give me 2 extra turns before I take more handicap, but I'll find more rations. You can also go to the inn here, and here's where you can remove your handicap. So I'm going to take a nap here, which removes 50% handicap. Actually, you know what? I can afford it. I'm going to get the nice room here. It's also going to give me 5 rations. So I removed all the handicap from my enemy or from my heroes, and I've got a bunch of food now. And finally is the forge, and here you can actually combine artifacts together to upgrade. So this is your rarities. So down here your gems are either white, blue, purple, or yellow. Purple being the epic, and yellow being the legendary. So you can see if I add these artifacts in, I'm guaranteed to get a legendary artifact here. So why don't we just go ahead and do that? And let's forge this, and we got a legendary meteor plate. So we have a new artifact in the thing, and now our forge is closed because you get a one-time use on that. And here I can jump back into the backpack, and I can start assigning some of my new artifacts. So I'm going to maybe put the stone plate on her. Ogar is going to get this devastating smash, and maybe the minion sand wizard. And then Aurora, I'm going to add her dispelling, so all her abilities dispel, and she also has extra intelligence, which makes all of her attacks last a lot longer, as well as a nice big fat 50 damage right there. Cool, so now I've got my guys all equipped, and they're looking good. Alright, so here we've noticed that the boss has actually appeared on the map now. He's right here. It's because I've hit 5 threat already. And this big ring appears, this double ring. So the smaller ring represents what nodes, anything in this gap is going to actually change on the next turn. Anything outside of this gap is going to corrupt immediately. So the nodes, as this ring closes, any node outside of the ring is going to start being corrupted. Corrupted nodes yield horrible battles of very difficult enemies that give you very, very little rewards. You never really want to fight corrupted battles. Alright, so like I was saying, each turn the threat ring is closing in, and these are showing me nodes that are going to be corrupted on the next turn. So if I were to land on one of those nodes, I would have to fight a corrupted battle. Any node outside of the ring is already corrupted, so definitely a dangerous thing. I definitely don't want to be caught outside, so I'm going to want to plan my path to get to the boss as efficiently as possible. So right now, luckily, I am just 2 moves away from the boss, so that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, so I'm here at the boss now. So Aranax is a beastly spider queen with a ton of HP and phases. So as I attack and kill her, she will eventually take enough damage that she will phase into a cocoon. And the hatching nest, which are constantly just throwing spiders out at me, will convert to her little sentinels. And I lost Aurora already, so that's great. I should be paying more attention. I'm gonna pause and just make sure that I can stun her before she's able to get this toxic cloud off. Sweet. So that was able to actually damage her enough that she couldn't get that spell cast, and the stun actually interrupts. So right there, I just hit her down to her first 25% HP. So she cocoons herself, becomes invulnerable, and now I have to kill her 2 brood sentinels. So I'm gonna start attacking them with all of my heart. I'm going to throw some minions down to protect my front line here. You can see my heroes are taking handicap damage, which means that every time they die, they take 25% damage or handicap. If they get to 0 handicap, they are dead, and they can only be revived in an inn. So I am going to keep on trying to kill these Brood Sentinels. And of course Aranax is swapping and taking away my ability to do so, which is pretty typical boss behavior. I'm just going to keep on swinging these cards as soon as they come available. So this is going to be really useful, this battle cry here. It's going to add resilient onto all my heroes. And that's going to mean that they take 50% less damage for the duration. So I've almost got this one Brood Sentinel down. I'm going to hit him with an Obliterate. Oh, and Aranax swapped in, which is fine. I'll just cancel that and swing again. Did 34 damage and stunned. Okay, this is an intense battle here. I'm just going to try to follow up with some more damage. You can also at any time check on your heroes. If you click on any of them, it'll tell you what artifacts you have assigned to them, so you can get a nice overview. Okay, so definitely I'm going to want this Sand Wizard here, which does 80 damage as soon as it's played. And it took away the armor first, and then it dealt the remaining damage. So this Fang Strike here is about to hit me with some fury. I don't think there's a lot I can do. That's 60 damage coming in. Oh, I guess I can swap. Alright, so she's only got 36. I'm going to let my lady take that damage because she can actually handle it. And then I'll swap her back, and I have her ult, which is a big damage in a cleave. So it's going to hit all of the targets as long as I'm in the middle lane. And you can see she's just flurrying sword attacks everywhere. And eventually, oh, almost not quite enough. I'll be able to kill that Brood Sentinel who just life-stealed his way back up. Almost got it. Alright, so I killed the Brood Sentinel. Now Aranax is going to come back. And she also respawns her hatching nests. And now I'll have to kill her again. So every 25% she's going to cocoon up and bring those Sentinels back. And that's kind of the unique thing about her. She has some really nasty attacks as well, which aren't being shown here right now. But let me tell you, there's a lot of surprises in store. Alright, and once you actually beat Aranax, you'll be taken back to the main map. Here you'll be able to actually move on to one of the other two provinces. Once you've defeated all three, you'll unlock the Corrupted King province, and you'll have to fight him. Unfortunately, we don't have the other provinces working right now, so once you defeat Aranax, you just basically restart the game. And that's that. Hope you enjoyed it.